Hello and welcome to a transcription explanation that will kind of show some of the awesomeness of the script and all of its glory, and how it can mimic things and do things in different designs and shapes and make the same thing look completely different ways. So anyway, this was a reference image I was given by a commissioner, and I did not draw this. This says nothing. This is just pretty circles and makes a pattern. This, however, says stuff. And what's also crazy is this says the same thing. So I have this same quote set up in 3 circles and in 1 circle. So this was done using Loren Sherman's handmade script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. And vowels are these smaller circles, and they're kind of tricky, and they kind of change depending on if they're on one of these 4 stems. So this is a B stem, J stem, T stem, and TH stem. So this is an E by itself, just on the word circle. Then a BE, like that. J-E, because this is a J, T-E, and T-H-E. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go through this design, kind of one letter at a time in both designs at once, and it makes the most sense in practice. So with that being said, let's talk about format and how things are arranged. You read the script bottom counterclockwise. So if you have something that's in a line like this, you'd read starting at the bottom, and then you'd find your words in a loose, counterclockwise or top to bottom motion. This one I took the most artistic liberty in its setup just to get it to mimic that reference as much as I could. This one is far more standard. It's just bottom counterclockwise. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at our bottommost word. So here it is in this word circle. We've got our sentence circle encompassing the whole thing. This one doesn't have a sentence circle encompassing the whole thing. It just has this smaller sentence circle chunk here. And yeah. Anyway, this is a sentence circle here. This is our first word here. This is our first word here as well. So let's look at the bottom of our first word and see our first stem. So it is this full completed circle here, same thing here, inside our word circle. So we're in this row. And let's look at its modifiers. So even though this one stylistically turns it into dashes, these 3 dots here are our modifiers, just like these 3 dots here are our modifiers. These 3 dots are closest to the stem. So anyway, 3 dots in this row, this column, makes that an L. Okay, cool. So now let's continue around our word circle and hit our next stem. So it's a smaller circle, so it's a vowel. Same thing here, continue around. This is just a line, this is just another line. Here it is. Same thing. A small circle on the line of the word circle. So we look at our vowels, since we know it's a vowel because it's a small circle. And if this is the word circle line, we know our vowel is on the word circle line. So A's are outside, E's, I's, and U's are on it. And I's and U's have lines, so this has to be an E. So this is an L-E. L-E. Continuing around, here's our next stem. It's a shallow divot. Continuing around, still just more lines. Sorry about my stuffy nose. This is a T stem here. It's a 50% or less completed circle. T stem. And yeah, a line passes through it, but lines that pass through things don't count. So only lines that end on things count. So this just is a T, because nothing ends on it. Same thing here. This line passes through and this line passes through, but nothing ends on it. So just a T. So L-E-T, continuing around. Here we have lines that actually end on our word circle and go out to our sentence circle. So like I said before, this was the sentence circle chunks over here, again stylistically placed at the top to make a full circle, whereas this has the sentence circle going all the way around it. And T, continuing around here, is our apostrophe, our double line, 2 lines. Makes an apostrophe. If we look at our vowel, our punctuation chart, 2 lines to the sentence circle, to the word circle, is an apostrophe. So here's the apostrophe here, and here's the apostrophe there. And then we have our shallow divot again, another T stem, except let's count up the lines. We have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines ending on it, passes through, doesn't count. And here we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 lines on a T stem is an S. So let's is our first word. Continuing around, this one's the easiest one to find out what's next. Here's our next word circle. This, I'll get to what it is in a second, is part of this word. It's a letter on this word. So here's the bottom of the word circle of our next word. This one, well, this thing isn't a word circle. It's kind of like an awkward sentence circle chunk. Again, I took some artistic liberty in the order of this, but this word is lower than this word. So I would read this word first and then this word. So And this one is counterclockwise. If you were to read this as a sentence circle and read it bottom counterclockwise, this one is also more counterclockwise to that one. So anyway, here's our bottom of this word circle. And this stem is a deep divot, so it's more than 50% completed, just like this one. And let's go ahead and cut out the lines. So here's one line, passes through, 2 lines, passes through. So 2 lines. Same thing here. 1 line, 2 lines. Nothing even passes through there. It's just, this is kind of tricky because it looks like a circle. So 2 lines on a deep divot is an H. And then we find our next letter. So this giant thing here is actually an A. It's still smaller than our 2 consonants, but it's not as small as our other vowels. But you can still tell it's an A, because A's are the only thing in the whole script that lie outside the word circle. So if we look at our A's here, A's are all outside the word circle. So you can tell it's an A and not any consonant just because of its position. So this is an A, so H, A. And even though this is more bottom than the H, if you have a consonant in line with a vowel, you always read the consonant first. So this is an H, A. This one, here's the H, continuing around bottom counterclockwise. Here's the next thing you hit. There's our A. It's a more typical A hanging outside our word circle. Continuing around on this one, here's another shallow divot. Sorry about my sinuses. Oh, I've been having allergies. Here is one line ending on a shallow divot. And same thing here, one line ending on a shallow divot. Makes this a V. Same thing here, V. Continuing around. Here's our little E all by itself. Little E all by itself. And a line ending on the word circle isn't punctuation unless it goes out towards the punctuation circle somewhere. So this little line here is just the line from the S. It's safe to end lines on the word circle. So yeah, this is just a line ending from the H. Anyway, so H, A, V, E. H, A, V, E. So let's have, continue around, here's our next word on this design, continue around, here's our next word on this design. Here's the bottom letter. It is a circle inside the word circle. Here, same thing, circle inside the word circle. 1, 2, 3 lines. 1, 2, 3 lines. And this shows something you can do with O's. O's can be enclosed on a consonant like a bead on a string. So if this was the word circle, this is like the consonant stem. O's are on the line of it like a bead on a string, whereas A's are outside it. Like, even though, so the word circle rule kind of trumps the, it's tricky. There's some ifs, ands, and buts. But anyway, if an O is on a J stem, we can look at the J stem with an O on it. It can be anywhere like a bead on a string. So this is like a bead on a string. So it is an O on the M. So M-O. And this M, this O is not enclosed. It's just, to the counterclockwise of it. So it's by itself inside the word circle. So like that. So M-O, continuing around. Here's an R, 3 dots on a shallow divot. This R, 1, 2, 3 dots on a shallow divot. And then this one has the E enclosed in the R. So hanging out right in the center of that word, of that consonant stem. So like R-E, except this is a T. So R-E, whereas this E is not enclosed and it's just hanging out on the word circle like that. So E, so M-O-R-E, M-O-R-E, so have more, and here's our last word. It's a big word, and this is the last word here. Here's the bottom of it, counterclockwise. Here's the first thing you hit. It's a little circle outside the word circle, which is an A, like that. And the A is right at the bottom here. So this is adventures in this one. Here's the A, and then here's our deep divot. Deep divot, 1, 2, 3 dots on a deep divot is a D. 1, 2, 3 dots on a deep divot is the D. Then we have a shallow divot with one line coming from it. This little line kind of makes the arrow here, but it does stop there, so that is a line coming from the shallow divot. So that is a V. Here's an E, like on the word circle line, like there, like that. There's that E there. Here's our N. It is a complete circle inside the word circle with one line. Here's that one line there. This is our N here. Continue counterclockwise. We hit the N before the T. Sorry. So here's the N here with one line coming from it. Then we have a shallow divot with nothing on it, and shallow divot, nothing on it. So that's the T, the U, inside that with a line going outwards. U, line going outwards. I did the same arrow trick here, because U's have lines going outwards. So this is like a T, U. And then we have another shallow divot with 3 dots. This was done pretty much exactly the same. And then the E, like a bead on a string, here's that E again. And then we have, our S's are different here though. So this S, shallow divot, line passes through, 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it. So 3 lines, shallow divot, that's an S. And then this one, 1, 2, 3 lines. So yeah, the lines can end on lines too. That's a safe place for lines to end. But 1, 2, 3 lines on a shallow divot is an S. And last but not least, we have our exclamation point. So 3 dots on the sentence circles are an exclamation point, not explanation, exclamation point. So 1, 2, 3 dots here inside that sentence circle divot, and then this one, here's our double sentence circle line with the 3 dots there. So yeah, let's have more adventures. Let's have more adventures with the exclamation point. Woo!